Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Conan Exiles update video. There's a brand new update today for the Xbox, PlayStation and PC. It's live right now. If you check and make sure your Conan Exiles game is up to date on the PlayStation, it should trigger it. Same on PC, it's had the update go live. On Xbox, it should be going live by the time you see this video. What does it include? A bunch of fixes and improvements, but most important of all, it rolls out the THRALL follower management system. This is getting in preparation for the thralls when they start getting cold. If you don't know, you're going to have to start limiting how many thralls you can have. It's been announced months ago and they're finally starting to implement ways that it can do it. So this is the first part. It wasn't test live. I have shown you guys a tutorial style video showing you exactly what it was or first impressions, and it looks like it's gone through that period of being tested properly for 3 weeks, and now it's ready to go for everyone to try out. There are some other little bug fixes as well, and a tiny little sneak peek at what's to come in update maybe number 2 for the follower management system. Maybe we're going to start getting some proper commands for thralls. So make sure you're liking the video. Don't forget, I'm your home for all survival games, and let's crack on with everything you need to know about Conan today. So in terms of other fixes on the PS4 and I'm guessing the Xbox, a number of crashing issues. Tweaks to the issue where players would get randomly killed when interacting with certain meshes or reaching certain locations. Fixed an exploit regarding building pieces. Deployed measures against undermeshing. So basically no more getting into people's bases by finding your way in the terrain underneath if you don't know what meshing is. It's a big problem in lots of games like these. Ark has it even worse. So I'm glad to see Conan Exiles are still up on it and trying to resolve the issue. There's a bunch of new options that you can input on the G-Portal website if you want to change things up for the follower management system. You can set the setting that you can only rescue followers when they're on your own land or your clan's land. You can also set whether or not players can rescue followers in build exclusion zones, how often players can rescue their followers, so basically the cooldown, amount of seconds where followers cannot be rescued if a player or target damage took any damage. Flint head arrows no longer require feathers to craft. The effects of set, ton and Mitra's justice no longer persists until logging out. Fixed in the issue that would cause armor penetration to stack on consecutive bow shots. Issues that would cause the Rhino King not to retaliate against attacks. Fixed an issue with stationary NPC awareness that caused them to be unresponsive if they previously rotated. NPC should now properly switch weapons even to melee, even if their thrown weapon runs out or their shield breaks. Resolved issues where thralls would sometimes prefer unarmed attacks despite having a weapon available in their inventory. Thralls that switch from melee to range or vice versa should no longer remain in a contemplative unresponsive state. Fixed issue where thralls would not follow their attack rotations and did no combos. Fixed issue where the purge would fail to find an appropriate target and if the player had not been in LOD range of a qualifying construction. Sprinting should no longer persist after mounting and dismounting a horse under certain circumstances. Torches can now be equipped while traversing water bodies on a horse. Issues where mounted combat animations could be interrupted fixed. A bunch of UI changes, particularly spell checking, have gone improvement, as well as like French and other languages. Follower location is now displayed in the map, off by default. And I've got rid of some information that wasn't really worth it or wasn't necessary anymore in the pets info screen. And issues with thralls still making noises as if they were drunk and animations etc. when they were idle. You can see there the update file was around 718 MB. It's not the world's biggest one. But don't forget, don't stop your download if you download it on Xbox. Otherwise it frequently makes you re-download the whole game. But you may have a substantially bigger update on Xbox anyway, because Conan Exiles can't seem to find a way around having to just reinstall most of the game. A brand new post by a new producer working at Funcom. It'd be a little bit boring and dry as it covers quite a few stuff already in the patch notes, but it's good to see that they want to address stuff that's going on. It pretty much goes over what we've already covered in terms of the management UI, but it does give a tiny little hint about what else is to come. Follower updates are going to be coming thick and fast, and part 2 hopefully will have a lot more stuff in how you control your thralls and followers. They're apparently going to be reworking the AI. They're going to add additional default behaviours, and they want to make thralls and mounts work better together. So it does look like you are going to be able to have an active mount and a follower at the same time, according to Scott in this post. And this is definitely needed. At the moment it's a bit redundant having a mount because most people just want to bring a thrall with them to help them clear dungeons. Now this update won't be coming that soon, but it looks like it's going to be next on the agenda. They could probably do with more statuses like maybe attack only certain creatures, attack only when attacked, etc. Or they might be going out there and finally introducing some more commands that allow you to really set paths for your thralls. Now part of all this of course is the thrall limiter. If you don't know, I've been speaking about it for months. They are going to start culling your thralls. This is going to give a cut-off date and you'll have to get rid of them using the brand new follower management UI before that date hits, or you could find yourself a bit disadvantaged. This is only going to be on official servers and you can change it on your unofficial to have it the old way. They still don't have exact numbers yet. Originally it was going to be around 50 thralls following, or 55 cap. And then each clan member that you had, you'd be additional 5 on top of that. But they are going to give 2 weeks notice when that will go live. It also just finished off talking about the testlive client, saying that content is going to be on it a lot longer. So you guys can give feedback if you're playing it on PC. Apparently they had 4 updates for this management system, which was kind of small really, but nevertheless it was there, it was able to be tested consistently. And just finishing off with undermeshing, they obviously got some of the stuff in the patch notes saying about the undermeshing systems, but they're saying that there are sometimes side effects. That's why I've put it on test live, so they've got another mesh system in place. So if you want to try that and see if you can find any kinks, any cheats, you can go and give that a try. So here you go, just a quick brief reminder. I have done a video on this already when it was in patch live and it doesn't look like too much has changed. But if you press the menu button and then you go all the way over to your followers, you can see you've got the follower management system. It tells you their name, tells you what class, what status they are and what level. You can take a look at their stats. Click A or X on the control pad. You can take a look at rescuing them. And when you do so, it will drop all of its items and armor. That's the price you pay for rescuing them when you're out in the wild. Here he is, old naked boy. And if you want to get rid of one of them, you can break the bond. You can do it remotely. So let's get rid of this Shemite fighter. And that's it. It pretty much deletes it. There he is. He was standing right here. And you can see it leaves all of its items. So you can do all this manually like you've always been able to do. But now it just makes it a lot easier. So if you can't find your thrall for whatever reason, you've come back to your base and it seems to have disappeared, simply can go into the followers section and look for him that way. You can track the thrall by pressing the Y button on the thrall itself, and you can update the follower list by pressing the X button or the square button. You take a look at the map and you can see the thrall is listed. There he is, it's that one there. I'm miles away on the rest of the map now, and Zadi the Wanderer. Let's go somewhere else on the map just to show you how good it is. You can see the stats even though it's miles away. You can track it. Let's take a look at the map. And there you go. There's the thrall that we just left. It's the same for your pets and creatures too. You can see I've got my elephant listed there. And again, we can track him on the map. It's a shame it doesn't list it different icons. It would be nice to see the pets have their own pet icon rather than just a thrall marker. And that is it guys, that is part 1. So when you get over 50 thralls, or something along them lines, you're going to have to go into your follower system and basically just get rid of the ones that you think aren't good enough. And it'd be really interesting to see what they do with any more commands. If they can have directional commands so you can literally place it without moving or going distances. I know you can place them to move sort of thing when you place one like this. And it's pretty decent to be fair. But it'd be good to almost be able to whistle them like you can in Ark so that they go over to a certain spot. This is the kind of thing I expect to see when they add the new admin commands or follower commands in the future. It would be nice as well if they had a radius, even just something simple as that, or being able to control a set line that they can walk back and forth. All that good stuff helps build up the original idea of having them come together as being part of a settler management system. And yeah, if they can get it, if this makes cost savings so we can finally start having a little mini army of thralls that can follow us rather than just be stuck at your base, I think that's all great stuff. And obviously having a thrall and your mount being able to run around with it following around you, that's even better as well. So big things coming for Conan Exiles. We've got the new map coming at some point. They did say the first half of the year, but we're already getting pretty close to the end of that first half of the year. It's only a couple months away. We had any teasers, any trailers. I've given them a bunch of feedback through some emails and stuff, and I'm hoping they'll start reaching out to a lot of content creators as they were advertising. They wanted to get in touch with some of them to maybe organise some previews possibly in the future. So lots to come for Conan Exiles. I'm going to be there every step of the way. Every single update that comes out, I'll be doing one of these videos, and any new stuff that's coming, I'll be showing you on Test Live how it all works so that you're ready for when it drops. Let me know any issues with the downloads, etc., or any problems or bugs you find, and until next time, ratbags, I'll see you later.